golden hour here at the farmhouse. Just look at that beautiful, beautiful sun. So back in April, I did a welcoming spring video where I shared the seeds I'd bought and how I was preparing the garden for spring. And so I thought it would only be appropriate on the first day of summer to do a welcoming summer video and show you how the garden is doing. So we might as well start back here on the porch step. How adorable are these tiny pots? I have two of them. I found them just at a local hardware garden store. They're made of plastic. I saw some at Lowe's that were very similar that were made of stone, and they weighed a ton, and I was like, this is not practical. They were also super expensive. So these guys are perfect. They're made of plastic. I did add some additional holes with a screw, or not with a screw, with a drill for drainage, because it did not have very good drainage. During the first rainstorm, this just like completely filled up to the brim with water like a bowl. So I'm trying to train my morning glories around these pillars. As you see, this is the first guy that's like actually long enough. I have one on either side here actually. This is a better position for the sun. That's really not as good of a position for the sun, but we're gonna give it a try. If this morning glory doesn't get up high enough and those morning glories do better, I might put something else in this pot. But I haven't given up on the morning glories quite yet. There's my beautiful kayak. I've done lots of kayaking. That has definitely been a wonderful way to welcome summer. I'll have to put in some footage here, and I'm sure you will be seeing plenty of kayaking footage in my reading vlog as well. So the best morning glories that I have at the moment are these guys right here, which these are morning glories and a moonflower. Look at that sun, isn't that so beautiful? So yeah, I actually took the morning glory seedlings that weren't doing as well and I put them in the ground because I figured if they're not doing well in their pots, no reason not to get them in the ground. Look at how cheerfully they're climbing up around the pillars. This guy, and then we've got one friend who's all the way up to here. Oh, how wonderful would it be if it could cover that? It would be so wonderful. This was made in the USA. Again, I picked it up, I think it was at Tractor Supply. One time when I was outside Tractor Supply, there was a family going in with their dog, and the wife was like, are you sure we can bring the dog? And the husband said, you can bring a cow in Tractor Supply. I liked that. I've never seen a cow in Tractor Supply. But anyway, I found this at Tractor Supply, and yes, my morning glories seem to like it, and this is a moonflower. If you remember from my reading vlogs last year, I think I put in a clip of my mom's moonflowers. She loves them. They are so unique. They only bloom at night, only bloom once in the evening. That's why they're called moonflowers. And they do this stunning white flower. My mom actually has already astonishingly had a flower. So yes, really the most beautiful heart-shaped leaves here are the moonflower, and it will be lovely if I got some flowers. I don't know if this spot is sunny enough or not. It is much sunnier in the morning and the afternoon. Anyway, if we step back here, I actually finally got my sort of little garden situation done today. I don't know if it was a good idea or not to put multiple garden plants into this one pot, but I have a lovely basil. I should make something with basil in it, and a tomato, which doesn't have fruit, but it does have some little blossoms there. And how cool is this kale? Oh, I can't remember the name of it now, but it's such a beautiful purple. It just looks fantastic. This is a pepper plant, which has had one flower. I don't see the flower anymore. Oh yeah, there were the flowers. I don't see any fruit yet, but that'd be lovely. This sadly is a clematis, which doesn't seem very happy. I don't know if it's dead or not. I feel like with a lot of my plants, I've gone through that situation of, I don't know if it's dead or not, but it's possible it's not, so I haven't given up on it yet. This is actually my kalanchoe, which I wanted to make it bloom again. And I read that what you should do is put it in the dark and don't water it for a month. And that will make the plant think it's winter. And then when you bring it back, you water it, give it sunshine, then it will bloom flowers again. But it just looks kind of sad. It's just come out of the dark. So don't know about that. I just repotted my little watermelon plant. So he's out here. How beautiful is this lovely mango lantana? I had one last year. It died because I went away on vacation. Oh no, that flower must be, look at that. That flower is done. But the buds and colors are so beautiful. So I bought myself another one. Here are some more morning glories. I have lots and lots of morning glories. I did not really need 2 packets, but I do have lots of them now. So we'll see which ones do the best in which situation. So I do have some little elephant ears. Elephant ears are a favorite in my mom's garden, as well as moonflowers. They do so well in her yard. So this was one of the bulbs that she gave me. This is the elephant ear that I bought, and it was so beautiful. And a bunch of the leaves just withered up and died, but I'll put a clip in here because I got a clip of it. Inside one of the stems, this beautiful new leaf came out. So see, I thought it was dead. The leaves were dropping like flies, but it's not dead yet. I don't know what's eating it. See, I sprayed it with something last time, and it was right after I sprayed it that it started dying. So I'm afraid to spray it with bug spray once again. This is a snapdragon, which also, there was a time when I was like, it might be dead. I can't really tell, but look, it's trying its best to put out some more flowers, so that's wonderful. I read that with spring bulbs, they, soak in lots of energy through their leaves over the summer after they're done flowering, so I have not really cut back my hyacinth. And then there are also just weeds. I planted some lupins. I think it's lupins and not lupines. I planted some lupins like all around here, and none of them came up, which I know lupins are a biennial, so they probably wouldn't have flowered, but I felt like they should have at least put in an appearance. That's why I haven't like weeded anything really, because I don't know, is it possible there's a lupin in amongst this? But I did just go out and buy myself 2 little lupins. Aren't they so pretty? I love the way the leaves look. These were just planted, so hopefully they will be happy and like their new home and continue to produce flowers. Look, this guy's putting out all sorts of new leaves, so that's very hopeful. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful flower. I love that so, so much. And this beauty I just bought. It was $11. I feel like for a plant that size with this many flowers and buds, that was a great deal. I wasn't about to pass it up. It is a Happy Returns daylily. Isn't this magnificent? Oh, so lovely. And the blooms, it's had a couple blooms that are spent, but just look, so many buds. I feel like this is going to be absolutely magnificent. I'm planning to plant it here. My gladiolus bulbs did really well here last year, so I feel like it must be an okay spot, sunshine-wise. Where's the sun? Hiding back there. So we have my lovely table and chairs, which I love very much. I'm always forgetting to bring in the cushions so then they get soaked. But they dry out, and it's been so much fun to use this and just sit out here, eat out here, write out here. Of course, I have not forgotten my hammock though. Absolutely adore my hammock, and my raised bed has been very scenic, a great little addition to this garden space. So we have dahlias, gladiolus, ranunculus are those little guys. And I did plant freesias. I looked it up, and the freesias look a little bit like the gladiolus, so it's possible some of these are freesias, but to be honest, I don't have much hope. I think something went wrong. One of you guys mentioned I should put this netting over it when the bulbs were small, and you were absolutely right. I was gonna get some stronger, like, metal fencing kind of, and I didn't get around to it. And then one day the squirrels and the birds were digging at the bulbs. Luckily, I think I mean, obviously I stopped them before they got too deep, but I wonder if they got more freesias than I realized. And see, now I'm so paranoid that I'm just like, well, they look so beautiful. I guess I'll just leave I'll just leave the netting on top to dissuade. I don't know, the ranunculus are still very small, so yeah, these guys have not flowered yet, obviously, but I planted them, in May, fairly recently. So, you know, driving around earlier this spring, though, I saw gladiolus growing, and I was like, okay, they must have been left in the ground. But everything I read online was like, in this area, in this zone, don't leave them in the ground, dig them up and replant them. So that's why my gladiolus are going to be a bit late. I'm so excited for both them and the dahlias. Don't these look beautiful? They're supposed to be pink and yellow, the ones I got. So this is my hydrangea corner. This one should be purple. It's a lace cap variety, so like most of the blooms are around the edge. And then this one is pink and is like actually very small, small petals. And then this one is more traditional and should be blue, which I just bought this one and planted it this year. It did have a tiny flower on it when I bought it. But hopefully when we get a little bit further into proper hydrangea season, I feel like they usually don't come until July anyway, the flowers. And then we have some friends here. This reminded me of something you'd see at the Grand Floridian, which is why I bought it. It's basically another elephant ear. Caladium, I think, but this one is a different variety, smaller, with the white, and I bought it at a garden center. I almost bought one of the ones with the pink in the middle because that especially reminded me of the Grand Floridian. And this is a blizzard snowwort, which you saw in my Welcoming Spring video. As soon as I planted it in the ground, of course, everything died. Oh look, is this a little lightning bug? I'll have to put in a clip here. The lightning bugs after dark are just so magical and beautiful. The flowers all died off when I put it in the ground. However, it did bloom a couple more flowers, which have had their day. I did just feed it some more flower food. I do flower food about once a week for just about everybody. So maybe it'll put out some more buds. And then look at how happy my hosta is. It's just, I mean, except for that part. It got a little bit eaten, but other than that, it is just so happy, and like these beautiful little flowers are so lovely. Just look at that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's a pity about these. It was like when they were tiny and like still curled up in a bud, somebody just chomped it, took a little bite. So that's why the biggest leaves have the chomps, but that did not stop it from growing. I bought this and planted it last fall. Also, my little autumn fern was last fall. I totally thought this was dead, but here it is, still kicking. Unfortunately, I don't know if you can see the remains of my Lenten rose over there. That is dead. I mean, it looks pretty darn dead to me. And then I tried transplanting some lily of the valley. I think, though, fall is a better time to divide and transplant them because the lily of the valley are actually over under those trees. And I thought it would be fun if they were under these trees too, although I know they're kind of invasive, so if I move them over here, they might just take over. But you know, that would be beautiful. I would not really have a problem with that. And then if we keep coming over here, we have my pride and joy. The sunflower bed. Here, we'll come around to this side. It's a better angle. I love the way they're all lifting their faces to God. Lifting their faces to the sun. Aren't they beautiful? So I did a small patch of sunflowers here last year, and I was so pleased with it. I thought I'd do more this year. I have little dwarf sunflowers all around the edge, and then I have some big seeds left over from last year, and also I bought a packet of like mixed seeds. I think some are supposed to be red and orange as well as yellow, which everybody looks kind of identical at the moment. I probably should thin them. If there's any good advice, I got some great advice on my spring gardening videos. So if you guys have thoughts, I just feel so bad. Like they seem to be doing well. You know, to have to pull up a healthy plant just seems really sad to me. I don't want to have to do it. I should spray these guys. I don't see too many bug bites yet, but last summer that was definitely a challenge. I had to watch out for the bugs and the Japanese beetles. I have not seen any Japanese beetles yet, but I should put up the trap just in case. One super fun thing about the sunflowers is that actually there were 2 of them that seeded themselves from last year. So this guy and the tallest, most beautiful one, this guy, I did not plant. They just sprung up out of the ground from last year's sunflowers. So that's really wonderful. And most of the sunflower seedlings that I planted, last year I felt like the seedlings I planted in pots did really poorly when I transferred them to the ground. And this year I did it more carefully, and I feel like they're okay. I mean, they're like, you can see that one. He was a little wobbly. I didn't have a stick to hold him up with, so he's a little S-shaped, but he's doing okay. And then over here we have, partly I planted these here because I didn't want to have to mow in this area, but here are my cheddar pinks. You know, could be better. Doing just okay, I'd say. This is my sedum, Autumn Joy, and it is absolutely spectacular. It also got eaten early on, but is doing okay. Is this some kind of a bug? What is that? I don't know what that is. That just gives me so much pleasure to look at it. It looks so happy and healthy. This is a little astilbe. We'll see how that does, if that flowers. And that is not grass or a weed. I feel like it somehow kind of blends with the rest of my lawn, which, let's be honest, is just weeds, not, not grass. That is the purple aster that I bought when Cymbeline arrived, and she played with it when she was a tiny kitty. So hopefully that will give me some beautiful purple flowers this year. So I had enough morning glories that I put some along this fence, because how fun would it be if they just surmounted the fence? Wouldn't that be kind of amazing? I don't know if that'll happen, but it is sunny here, so maybe it'll be very interesting to see which morning glories do best. And this is another moonflower. So I thought we'd divide and conquer with the moonflowers. Have one on the arbor and then one maybe, look, it's already reaching up, trying to reach. I need to get some gardening tape and look into how to train moonflowers, how to train climbing plants, to see what the best way to go about it is, because see, this is not climbing the stick. Look at this. It's doubled back in on itself. Like, I gave you a stick, honey, and you have this fence. That's okay. We'll figure it out. Gotta do some more research. If we step up into my porch, my, what was this again? Begonia is doing beautifully. When things do beautifully in pots, I feel like I don't want to put them in the ground because you're so happy. I don't want to interrupt whatever's happening. It's doing well. Sometimes I just sit with my plants and say, what do you want? Please tell me. Like with the morning glories, it was like, tell me where you want me to plant you, and I will plant you wherever you want. This is another verbena. So I think it's the same kind of genus as the mango lantana I have, but it's purple. And again, when I bought it and brought it home, pretty much all the flowers died very quickly, but a couple of them have come back, and hopefully the flower food will do its magic and even more will arrive. I have to say my pansies don't seem hugely happy. I just pruned them. I should have pruned them sooner, I think. So hopefully they will come back. They seem to have shrunk. maybe because there are so many of them. Like, look at that guy. Look at how tiny he is. So small. I don't know if you can even tell. We need another one for comparison. Yes, but it is still putting out flowers, and it looks very pretty and green hanging on the porch. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick garden tour and welcoming summer update. Friday is going to be my usual June reading vlog, reading wrap up for the month. I'd love to hear about any gardening you've been doing down in the comments, or how you have been welcoming summer. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye, guys.